Okay, I can see myself. All right. See you. Bye.
There we are.
Hey.
I was really trying, Sky, to be on here long before you got there, but I am so happy. I love that smile.
Thank you.
It is really, really, really nice. And I'm
Thank
really
you.
honored that you could make it today.
Thank you. That was a lovely surprise, and I'm enjoying it so far. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's my honor. And I had a brief moment to understand who you are and what you're about. You're an author.
Yes.
And you're particularly an author about how to coach men in relationships.
Right. Well, the book that I wrote is called Best Thing Ever. It's right here.
Yeah.
And it's actually for men and women, and it spells out the nuts and bolts on how to build extraordinary relationships from inside out. And I've interviewed dozens of couples who are incredibly happy together for many years. Not just people who've been long enough together, right? That was not a criteria. Criteria was that as you watch them and they look into each other, and that love is like tangible and palpable. So I seek them out, interviewed them, plus my own story in there. And it turned out that secrets to a successful love relationships are the same across the board. All of those couples, even though their stories were different, shared the same fundamental understanding, and that was remarkable and was an honor to.
So you could find a common thread between people actually coming that are happy in relationships, and you can see the thread through from a long period of time, so you would understand what really makes them happy. So what really does make them happy? Look at that big smile.
Yay! Well, so there are a few things. Number one, every couple that I interviewed, first of all, they've done significant amount of work on themselves before they found that perfect partner and that amazing love. They all have been through the series of sometimes divorces, sometimes breakups, and painful experiences before they came into the place where they were forced to look at their own wounds, to release them. And they were whole in who they are, and they were happy with themselves, and they were open to a relationship, but not necessarily actively looking. They were not none of the couples that I interviewed, no, one couple, they actually met on Craigslist in personals section. So they were looking, but they were still fairly open, right? There was no clinging to the result. So that
cleaning. So cleaning would be something of cleaning up their history, meaning their past negative stuff.
Like clearing all emotional trauma that, all is probably too much of it's a bit of an exaggeration, but as much as possible of what has been happening before, those resentments, those things we need to forgive, those insecurities that were built up from childhood. And the good thing to look for those, if you see, or any of our viewers, if anybody sees patterns that repeat in our relationships, like one person after another keeps cheating on you, or you get attracted to people who are not available, or you date for few months and then it breaks off. So whatever it may be, or I spoke with one wonderful man recently and he tells me, well, every woman I date is too career oriented. She's not into relationship. I'm like, I would not buy into that. That's just a common excuse that you keep hearing. So anything that keeps reoccurring over and over again is worth looking at. That means that something inside you keeps recreating that.
So there's a pattern. So a pattern sometimes is that from childhood, and it's a belief that you have around the relationship or what your expectations are, but it's based upon something, an earlier part of your life, an earlier part of dating, and you see that, and that's what you attract because that resonates inside of you, and so you're projecting that out, and that's what you're attracting back.
Absolutely. So essentially, we attract who we are. And sometimes people will argue to that because it's a huge statement to make, right? What if somebody had an abusive partner who abused them emotionally or physically? How can you say that you attract who you are in that sense? And I see it absolutely being true. Why? Because any case of abuse is the result of self-abuse. And unless the person was self-abuse,
I don't want to interrupt you, but self-abuse is like thinking that you got something wrong with you. Is that correct?
Yeah. So that's basically when we go into that remorse. So I should have done this. I should have done that. I could have done better this. I'm not good at that. I probably deserve being punished. So all of that negative self-talk that we have, then it shows up in the relationship and we blame the other person. We say it's them, but actually they just a mirror of how we treat ourselves. So every relationship is a mirror. What you believe to be true about you, about the world, that's what you get reflected. Does it make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And does sometimes when, is there some ways in your book that help clear some of those ways of being, or those same patterns that you repeat over and over? Is there a way to clear them out?
Absolutely, yes. Actually, this book is a manual. It's like very tangible and very practical. There is a bunch of exercises that I invite my readers to perform, and there's a couple of audio programs that are complementary to that, because you can totally do that work, and a lot of it could be done on your own, uncovering them and going through the process of releasing. Sometimes with the help of a good coach it's faster, but a lot of it can be done.
A lot of it can be done. So is it possible, when like an example, can I give you an example? What if we say we don't care? Like an example, how would you handle clearing that out of a person, because of what's one person that's reflecting that to another? So how would you say when a person says, "Oh, I don't care"?
I don't care about what? Just give me a little bit of context.
I don't care about I don't care about the situation. I don't care about the relationship. There's just a lot of profound questions all the time, and saying, well, I don't care. And what does I don't care mean? It's meaning something inside of them that they're not really caring about? Or
your question in and of itself is very interesting.
Okay.
Let me explain why. Because you are asking the question from your position about the other person. How do we clear it in them?
So
And in order to clear it in them, they have to clear it. And in order for them to clear it, they have to care.
So it has to be as if they have to care.
They have to. You cannot clear anything in anybody else but you. And unless the person says, I used to not care, but now I do, there's nothing you can do. And it becomes a choice whether you want to be associated and want to be around those people or not. So your choice is which situation you put yourself into, right? And that's the biggest mistake that most people make, is that we go and try to fix another person. And people ask me, oh, you're a relationship expert. Do you work with couples? And I say, no, I strategically never, ever, ever work with couples. Even if I work with a couple, I work with each person individually within a couple. Why? Because people go to therapy and they start pointing fingers like, yeah, tell him. Or yeah, tell her. Right? And they expect the third person to fix their mate. Like, pardon, that's fucked up.
Thank you, Sky. That's true. It really is. You got, what about her?
Yeah. And the only place to look is the mirror. Any single time you don't like anything in your life, go to the mirror and have a talk with yourself. A loving one, ideally.
Because if you say loving one, ideally, because if you're saying I love you, and you're, you know, and I am gracious today and thankful for all the things that that happened today, the food that I ate, the relationship that I'm in. I'm happy for all of those. Those are reinforcing our inner self to connect in a better way. Is that accurate?
That's accurate, of course. And the way I view the world, and after working with hundreds of people, and my mom is a powerful healer, so I have enough experiences firsthand to believe that to be true, that any human problems originate from us blocking the love that is natural for us. And it originates in self-love. Wherever we do not accept parts of ourselves, that's when it starts showing up. So having that loving talk with the mirror, and it's not easy. It's easier said than done. I get that. It's like when we look in the mirror, especially women, we notice our wrinkles first. We don't notice the spot in our eyes, right? When a man is looking in the mirror, he starts looking where he's falling short, like maybe in his finances or maybe in his body image. So it's a fine balance where you do prompt yourself to grow and never stop in being contempt and just staying in status quo and in mediocrity, where you're pushing yourself further, and at the same time you do it in a loving way. Like we're good when we talk to our kids in that way. When they just learn to walk, we're not just beating up on them when they're falling, right? We say, oh, look at you, you're doing great, keep doing that, keep going, okay, one more step, come on over, right? But we don't do it to ourselves. When we are, let's say, starting a new workout.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
We really don't.
We're ruthless. We're fucking mean to ourselves. And then we want other people to be kind to us. So we're mean to ourselves, but we think that they need to love us and they need to praise us. And you need to love me unconditionally. I'm going to love myself conditionally, but you have to love me unconditionally. It's never going to happen.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
What you just said there. Wow, that's a really, really strong message. And part of your book, you've also said you help men in relationships. So what is the biggest, most profound thing that you've found men in relationships and how they connect to women that would be really helpful for us to
Thank you.
share?
I really love working with men. I'm passionate about that. And my career, work with men and women, and I do have a few female clients. But I feel that men have a couple of challenges. They're trained not to ask for help, and they grow up to believe that they gotta like just power through it, right? And they try to cope for so long until they're like completely in a dark space. And men that I get privileged to work with, they're high performers, high achievers. They have amazing hearts and really well-meaning men. And because they also, on the other hand, have been trained to be nice and to be considerate, and I find a lot of men, they're afraid of their own power. They know it innately, but then society associates all bad stuff to gender. Let's say if we speak words like violence, war, power, competition, cutthroat competition. Those things bring up subconsciously male images. You're not associating women with any of those things, right?
Whoa.
So guys are carrying that guilt for the whole world. Yeah. And they're afraid to be decisive with their woman. They're afraid to be directive. They're afraid to be in their power because they're afraid of hurting her. And they don't know where to find that right balance where they could be their magnificent self, completely empowered, and be at the same time loving, sensitive, and creating that safe environment for a woman. That's what they yearn for, and that's what women are yearning for too, because women are, especially those who became independent and successful, were bitching around saying, what's up? Why all these guys are pussies? Why I have more balls than they do, right? And
like that. Really like that.
Yeah, and it's not like they don't have the balls, they just were pushed by society and conditioning to squeeze their balls, put them in the pocket, and never show them, right?
Thank you. Wow, you are so, I love the way that you're expressing that, because that expression really sets a tone for guys to be able to actually ask the question. It's really, I mean, for me, I'm going, well, okay. I've been a high achiever, wanting that. That's, you could interview me. How would you be able to create a safe place for a guy to speak to a woman in that authentic manner, like you were speaking of? Because that's really powerful, and be able to them be strong with that woman and also be sensitive at the same time. I want to know that.
Yes, that's what I help them with, because it's a fine balance, and it comes back to healing those wounds that they have accumulated, especially if somebody has been through marriage and relationship. Most men that come out of the marriage, they've been emotionally abused and suppressed, and they have allowed for that. And they've heard all this nagging, you're not doing this right, you're not doing that right, and they've adapted that, like, is there something wrong with me? And they're not feeling comfortable in their own skin. So it's really helping them see the beauty in their power and trusting their feelings and their gut, and coming into that place where they can have this delicate dance where they're truly powerful, directive, decisive, and where they acutely tuned in to their woman, where they can watch her facial expression, see her body language, and act how they feel, like through feeling her. You cannot rationalize that, especially since women are completely rational creatures, completely. And
so the rational meaning, can you explain what rational means?
Well, most men are logical by nature.
Logic, okay.
Right. So they think things through, they create the plan, they follow the plan, and let's say women's preferences. I remember guys in my life being confused with that. My wonderful ex-husband, he was like, okay, I bought you oranges. I'm like, oh, I don't want oranges anymore. And he's like, but you like them. I'm like, yeah, yesterday.
And today I don't.
Yeah. So guys are like, they're taking the data, they're analyzing it, they're creating the plans, and they're moving into the execution. They're like from point A to point B. And a woman, she's like all over the place, and she has moods and emotions and this and that. So in order to really do the right thing for her in the moment, and I'm putting the right thing in quotes, like to feel her desires and to fulfill them, right? You cannot approach that from the logic. You have to feel her, and you have to allow for the fact that she's fickle and her preferences are changing at all times. So
so do you just love that part of it? You just love them when they're going through that process?
Yeah, you get amusement, just get entertainment out of that. Just watch her.
Wow. So I gotta find some entertainment. That's good.
Yeah.
That is really good,
You,
Scott.
you,
Oh my God.
you
Oh
go
my
like, oh my God, babe, you're all over the place. All right, now what you
God.
want, you know?
Well, I don't know if I want to say she's all over the place, but I just say, you know what? It's really okay.
Hey,
It's
if
me.
you are secure in saying that, and if you are saying that lovingly, it's okay to say that because she knows that.
So just appreciate it.
Just
Just to appreciate her.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just
That is powerful.
because see,
That is
here's
powerful.
the beauty. Imagine feminine being like a body of water. It's vast, expansive, and completely out of control. And it could be flowing smoothly. It could smash you with a wave. And masculine
Yes.
being like a bank for the river that gives it a curve and directs the flow, right? So you have to be, in a sense, forgiving with your boundaries. When she wants to overflow, she's going to go all over your
Mm.
boundaries. And at the same time, you have to bring her back when she's ready and direct that flow. And it's a very delicate dance. So feminine energy, and of course, we're all both men and women. We have
We're both.
masculine
We're
and
both.
feminine, but we're just talking the pure essence. Feminine energy is very fast, very unpredictable. It holds all the potential for all there is, right? It's like nature. It's got tornadoes, it's got sunshine, all of the everything. So is your woman. So when you start taking her storms seriously and caving back into your protective mechanisms, you start losing that connection. So as a man who's empowered, it's really beautiful when you can stand like a
So
captain of the ship.
dance.
You dance. When you are standing like a captain of the ship in the middle of the storm, just still navigating and not being swept off by the next wave, right? And you know that the storm is temporary, it's going to pass, we're going to have sunshine again, and just enjoy the wind in the moment.
Wow. Wow. Enjoy the wind. Yes, because the wind is the wind of change. And you'll bring on the change by bringing on the appreciation and the awe in her because of letting her know that. And you're not getting swept up in the emotional baggage that whatever way she's going with the flow is just to go with the flow and learn how to create that flow as a guy, learn how to create that flow in the right direction. So maybe it's for the couple what the vision of they would want to create together.
Oh.
Maybe there's a vision they both, so we can bring us all back to one vision that we've wanted to create, that happiness, that love, that sensual feeling. The guy wants that as much as the woman.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah?
I'm so glad you brought it up. I think it all starts with the vision. And most people who are single out there, if you have been starting with the list of the qualities you want in your partner, you're starting at the end. That's not the place to start. The way I teach it in my book and the way I teach it in my courses is you got to start with, do you want to guess what you could start with?
You got to start with your beliefs. I'm not sure.
You got to start with your why for a relationship. You got to start with the purpose.
But the why is our purpose.
Exactly.
And our vision.
Purpose. So, but then the vision is born out of that why. So think about this. Different people have different agenda for a relationship, and in different ages, it's different purpose. When you're 16, you're just exploring your sexuality and having fun. You don't even know what you like yet. It's like all exploration. When you're maybe in your 30s, you're ready to start a family. When you're in your 50s, you may be ready to start having fun again. Who knows? For each person, it's different. But it's important to get clear on what is it that you're after, and find a partner who is on the same page with you and they want the same thing. For example, if a woman wants to have children and for her it's important to start a family, and the guy is already has grown up kids and he's not willing to go in that round, there is a mismatch and it's going to play out sooner or later. Or right? If a woman is looking for financial security and she wants a man to take care of her, and I'm not saying this right or wrong, it's just okay, but it's good for her to get clarity on what really her agenda is, right? And be honest with herself.
So being honest with ourselves, like, it's not just making a list, but it's like, I really want this to be happy. My kids are all growing up. They're out of the house. I want to be free to travel and experience life and make money at the same time.
Right.
That could be and meet a lot of people and be happy. So that could be a vision.
Exactly. So if you were after, and that's wonderful. I'm so happy that you're bringing this up, because I work with men who are in they're real estate investors, so they've created that freedom of time and money, and they want to have fun, and they want to have partner in crime and an exploration, and that woman who will be there.
Yeah.
So if they're meeting somebody who's in their like late 20s, early 30s, or what have you, and she's all building her life and her career, and she's got 9-to-5 job, you're not going to travel together, right? It's not meeting your criteria. So you have to look at things that are more compatibility on your agenda, and then create the vision for yourself. And there is a partner who will be perfect match to every single thing that you want. But starting just, she has to be, or he has to be whatever, 6 feet tall, or she needs to be blonde with deep cup. I mean, it's backwards. It's backwards.
Let me back up a little. What made you get into this? What made you, what's your passion with uncovering this for men and women?
Thank you for asking that. Well, I was pushed, how we say our mass becomes our message. I had a challenge early in my life when I was in my early teens. I was separated from my parents, and I was depressed and suicidal, but the gift from there was that I understood the preciousness of human connection and love, and I learned to value that above all. So I understood when I was a teenager that there is no amount of money or material means that can stop for that. So I was interested in, and I changed like 5 schools, 3 universities, and then when I moved to States, I traveled to over 20 countries. So I changed a lot of environments, and I studied psychology and human behavior because I wanted that for me, and it was just my area of interest, right? And I graduated from medical school. And then after I went through my relationship journeys, like a divorce and a couple of breakups, and finally I married this guy, and that's described in my book, Best Thing Ever. And that's why it's called, by the way, Best Thing Ever, because I believe that happy relationship is the best thing ever in one's life. It's such a blessing. And that title of the book was born out of us calling each other that. He's like, you were the best thing that ever happened in my life. And I'm like, you're the best thing that ever happened in my life. And it was so easy and so amazing. And I thought, oh my God, that's how it's supposed to be. People should know.
So you're being able to express that, the best thing ever. Do you say that every day?
We used to, pretty much every day. By the way, we parted ways, but it's like we still believe that was a phenomenal chapter in our lives, and it's not like anything went wrong. Sometimes it's just, it plays its course.
Just what it is.
It is what it is, yes. And that's when I went on a journey of interviewing these couples and all. So that's how my relationship work came about. And I was teaching equally men and women for a couple of years. And then I had a few business coaches that reflected back to me, and they were saying, you light up so much more when you talk about working with men. And I'm like, really? Yeah, I kind of get excited more. Why? Because I feel my heart goes out to them. I feel that I'm helping women more by helping men than if I just work with women.
Oh, God, yes.
Because,
I'm sorry.
Yes, because we're crying out loud, women, especially those who take the time to work on themselves, to go and, take the courses, go through therapy, whatever else they do to heal their traumas and become empowered and come into their goddess selves. Now they're like, okay, I've done it. Where is he? Right? And there are guys who are wanting, but they don't know how to. And I can show them shortcuts and take them through that transformation pretty much faster than anybody else. And I'm honored to do that.
What an honor. What a blessing. That feminine side shows up inside of you to heal that male, that male dominancy. Or it's not, it's like it's both masculine and feminine, but you have more of a connection with it.
Yeah.
You can feel that energy. There's a particular energy in there that oh, I can direct this guy. Meaning suggest to him where he can see it clearly in his mind, in his vision, for where he can improve himself and be a really strong role model for his mate.
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yes, and there are simple things like we don't learn when we grow up, like how do you seduce a woman?
That would be fun.
Yeah. How do you communicate? How do you flirt? How do you build that sexual tension, and where it's beautiful and interesting and exciting, where it's not just like, oh, I spoke with my
that was good. I like that.
I spoke with a guy who's extremely intelligent, like not that long ago. Like he was super successful in his career, so like freaking mind blowing, right? And he's sports and he's adventurous and he's like everything, the whole package, right? And he makes good money, he's independent, he enjoys life. And he's telling me about his relationships. He's like, oh, I like that woman quite a while, and I was hesitant to approach her. After your webinar, I decided, I got the courage, and I just asked her out, and I told her I like her. And I'm like, that's it? You told her you like her? That's like,
oh my gosh.
I mean, it's not bad. It's better than nothing, but it's like,
yeah. There's no feeling. Like you want a little bit of emotion behind it, a little like I appreciate you, or just notice something of that of the female. Like go. I'm gonna let you finish. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's like if somebody tells me I like you, of course I appreciate it. I'm flattered. Do I get turned on? That's the point. No, I'm like, yeah, that's nice. Thank you. Get in line.
So give me some flattering
Get in line.
statements.
I've heard it again, a gazillion times again. Not to be arrogant, but seriously, in order to entice me, you gotta come from an original point and be yourself. And you don't have to be super creative, but just kind of being comfortable in your own skin and like lure me into that, make me intrigued, make me interested, because that's the trouble, because guys are very direct by nature, and it's beautiful. So they're like, okay, I like you. Do you like me? Let's do it. It's good. Let's date.
No. So we have to get past the words "I'd like" and get into real noticing the other person on a real basis, like their hair, their clothing, something, appreciating them and recognizing the feedback from the female.
Yeah. So it's beautiful dance of, and I really do not promote any manipulation, but seduction is a healthy manipulation. It's like you manipulate your kids to eat veggies sometimes and do your homework. You have to get creative there, right? If you just read them a lecture on why veggies are good for you, they will fall asleep on you and will still ask for candy when they wake up. So you have to be just as creative there. And in communicating with women, that's where confidence comes. Because most men are, I find, they're a little hesitant to make a very direct sexual compliment. Just saying, oh God, your eyes are sexy. Very unusual, right? Like eyes, sexy, interesting. But that gets you like, really? Okay. And for a woman, versus just like, oh, you have nice hair, blah. It's like you have to build that delicate sexual escalation where you're bold and then respectful, and you pull back and let her come into you. So for a man, it's creating a space where she is willing to step in, where he's in his presence, not going after her, but he's consistently inviting her. It becomes a communication of, if you just come.
So if that, no, I love this, because now if you ask, like, how do you find that out within her? Say some men are really afraid to even ask, is it asking a question that allows us to open her up? You got kind of open-ended questions, or more specific in the beginning? Is that hard to come ask? Like for me, if you were going to ask, like I'm a little shy, but yes, when I got a little bit of what you said about creating that space for her to be her. Okay, so how do I create that space? By asking questions to allow me to create that space, for there be like a neutral zone in there that wow, he's really into, he really does appreciate. I really like for instance, I really like your hair. It's really nice. It really, I mean, it shows up on camera really nice. Yeah, it does. And that's nice. But if I said it looks lovely and beautiful, is that more impactful?
No. What would be more impactful if you said, oh my God, your hair shines. I wonder if it's smooth, if it's silky when you touch it.
Wow, you are really, that is, wow. So it's silky when you touch.
It's very unintrusive, where you are not reaching out and touching me, right? Even if we were sitting across the table, you're not reaching out and touching me, but you're saying, I wonder if it's silky when you touch it. You're making me picture that, and you're making me wanting that, right? Or not. Or if you can read my facial expression, if I go like resistant to the idea, then you know I'm not willing.
Oh, so there's body language. If the body language, and it's not even what they say. It's if they move a little closer, if there's a little nod in the head. You're looking for other clues to say, actually invite you to get closer to her.
Exactly. Wow. So you make your statements with your words, and you speak directly your agenda without hesitation, because you own yourself, and you know that her coming into your space is a gift for her, because your intention is pure. Your intention is to enrich her life. Your intention is to give her pleasure. Your intention is to treat her like a queen. So you're fully confident in inviting her into that space. Now it's up to her whether she's going to come or not. So when you come with that directness and you give her that, so 2 ways that she could behave, she could, get like a little shy.
That's a good one, yeah.
But that's a yes.
Wow.
She could go, and you know that she's a little, like, if she's a little shy, she's a little insecure. So you would have to create extra space and safe environment to make it easy for her to step into, right? If she's confident like me, she would probably say, maybe I'll let you touch it one day, right? Or I might say, I might let you find out. Right? So I'll flirt back with you. And that means that I'm giving you also a green light. Okay, if you're strong enough, maybe, right? If you've got enough balls to get me, then maybe I'll give you that opportunity. Or she might be like, tensed all of a sudden. And then you know that she's not ready. Maybe she has, and it's not like it's something that wrong. Like, very important thing here, guys, don't take it that you've said something wrong or there's something wrong with you. Not at all. She could have gone through sexual abuse. She could have, who knows what, right?
Anything.
Somebody could have been dragging her around by her hair. Yeah. There were a lot of things. You don't concern yourself trying to figure out what's going on there. Like, spare yourself that. All you need to do is just kind of notice that and respect that and take it a step back, and ideally spin it around into a joke, because when a person laughs, they relax and the tension ceases. So if she tenses up, I'm trying to think on the fly with a good joke to turn it around. Nothing comes to mind. But anyway, so.
Well, there's someone that just put something in the blab tonight, and it says open. His name. What was it? It said something here about my ex-hubby is a bummer, loser, gambler, addict. So. Maybe there's that just goes back to the addictions and early old programming, basically, that needs to be cleared out. We're in the flirtation stage right now. So what about women looking at, I like this one. What about women flirting with men?
Oh, yeah, they also need to learn.
Because it can be overboard too, and they don't really mean it. Or underboard.
What's your experience? Are women more overboard or they're more reserved?
Both. Both. I've had both ways of being overboard, and it would be they're wanting you and they're wanting to go to bed with you and blah blah blah, and I'm going, no, I'm not there.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's not, for a male, a lot of male, they go, well, why wouldn't you? It's like there's just a difference. There's more, like you said, meaning. More, I'll spend my time with someone I really want to love and appreciate and be connected with. There's a lot deeper feeling to that.
Yes.
But I
actually respect that highly about you, and in any man who honors himself enough to not just go for sex, because why would you get one-dimensional connection when you can?
That is a one-dimensional. It really is. Thank you for that. So, but you still have that. And it isn't all. I mean, I was just as an extreme example, but for women, yeah, flirting. So, how would they be able to flirt?
It comes back to feeling comfortable in your own skin and feeling beautiful and feeling sensual, and not taking it too seriously, and just enjoying the process, enjoying your own body and the way it moves, and enjoying your radiance and sharing that openly, and knowing that your radiance as a woman, that's a gift to the world, and allowing yourself to shine, you are making the world a better place. So just being there and appreciating the man that you're with, like even if he's not your Mr. Right, just appreciating the qualities that you do see and allowing yourself to be playful. I think flirtation is playfulness.
Oh, I love you. That is so. Yeah, I do love that. It is. Flirting is so much fun. And we can smile. It all brings a smile. Yeah. And there is it does jump to love, and it jumps to happiness. You get to smile through your daily woes, and you are experiencing someone really cares, and somebody really I felt that, and
yes,
I'm happy for that. Yeah.
So I'm glad you saying that. And flirtation for both men and women. You guys really want to tune in and hear this. It's really not about seducing another person. It's about you enjoying the life and the moment fully. It's about you enjoying yourself. By the way, I can hear my voice in your speakers once you took off the headset.
I'm going to put it on there. Okay, that'd be better?
Yeah, better. Thank you. Yeah. So it's about fully juicing the moment and like soaking up in it and having as much fun as you can and not being worried whether they're gonna like you or not. You cannot really flirt effectively if you're concerned how it's gonna be received, because then you're gonna be filtering your sense of humor, you're gonna be filtering your responses and natural inspirations. So it's like Filters off and fun on. And when your intention is clear, you're clear. What I mean is, when your intention is beneficial for you and for the other person, you're not like, okay, let me see how I can get you into bed. You're just there for the enjoyment of the moment, and flirtation comes naturally. Mm. And I can give a couple of tangible tips for women. There is certain body language, like your flirtation comes mostly in the body language, in the way you smile, in the way you move your hair, in the way you are holding your body. Don't be stiff and holding it straight. Just allow yourself to float and be like that water, very fluid and very flexible, and that in and of itself. So you're like dancing all the time.
Wow. Just like a flow, like water, like yes. flow. Wow. Show your book. Show your book. There's a lot of beautiful people on here that love to see
Best thing ever. Escape disappointments and drama and let true love into your life. It's available on Amazon, and my website, you guys, is bestthingever.com. Very easy to remember. And I have a cool news to our subscribers there. I am hosting in October a phenomenal online bootcamp, which will be complimentary, and it's for men. It's called 007's Guide to a Woman's Heart.
That's
yeah,
good.
And I'm bringing in, of course, I'll be one of the speakers, and I'm bringing experts who are flipping off the charts phenomenal. I'm trying right now to get one former CIA agent, so specialists in like body language, on presence, on communication, on powerful use of language. So all of these tools that we're just barely scratching the surface right now, I'm bringing niched expert in every area to talk for like an hour about every little aspect. So that's going to be priceless. Absolutely priceless.
I think the body language really sends a big message.
Yes.
You know,
there are a lot of things. There's body language. There's how you use the language, like how important it is, what you say, and there are certain words you should never use, other words that are empowering. So there are a lot of intricacies to communication and to this delicate dance of relationships. So that's why I'm bringing the trusted panel to contribute, and I invite you guys. I don't have the registration page up yet, but please, I encourage you, sign up to my mailing list and you will be the first one to be notified. So when you go to bestthingever.com, just go register and I will send out that email. And if for whatever reason you don't want to be on my mailing list, you can unsubscribe always, but I only send stuff once in a while that is absolutely stellar valuable. You will never get any junky email from me. So I'm confident
stellar,
in my,
especially on body language. I'm looking at like there's probably things that the way I could be on this blab would send a better message. See, I like the way you look. It's very it's inviting. It's also teasing.
Thank you. Yeah.
It is. Great smile. Beautiful. I mean, and you do have a flow about you. Your one shoulder's a little lower, and you got a great smile.
Thank you.
It really does sends a strong message, and a lot, people really appreciate that.
Thank you.
So thank you for that.
Thank you. It's so much fun, and so far we had an amazing conversation. Very inspiring.
You taught me a lot. I'm still learning.
I'm glad. That's what I'm here for, to share. Sometimes we take for granted our own expertise, but then I remember I've studied that stuff for years, and I've studied even my charm is maybe natural, but honestly, I have worked on myself, and I still do. For years, when I was learning English, it's my second language, right?
Yeah. What is your first language?
Russian.
I just cut you right. Russian.
Yeah. So I would listen to the phone messages that I was leaving, and I was before I would leave them, and I would re-record them sometimes because I would hear where my accent shows up strongly, where my voice pitch goes too much up, that it's disturbing. So I've learned to use my language and my voice in a way that it's effective, and I can use it as a tool when I'm teaching classes, when I'm in a teleconference. I know when to bring it up, when to lower it down, and it's an art form. And people do not take time to leverage the assets that they have, like their voice, like their body language, like their look, or any of that. Knowledge alone can only go that far, intellectual.
Right. So there's other senses that really bring on, it's more powerful than actually what you know.
Exactly.
So it's so, yeah.
And in a relationship, I'm sorry, in a relationship.
Oh, please.
It's a lot of guys and women who are very intellectual, and they have invested a lot of time into bettering themselves in the academic area or in self-education, and they pride themselves in diplomas and certificates. All of that is fabulous. I highly respect that. In a relationship, it's quite useless. And in fact, it becomes boring.
You know, a lot of women wouldn't agree with you on that one because they think education and all those credentials is what I want.
It's great.
On a mental
fabulous
level.
Yeah, that looks fabulous on your resume. It looks fabulous. But if you don't know how to use your voice and you are squeaky like an old wheel on the phone, your PhD is not going to help you.
Oh, that's funny. That's true, though.
Yeah. And if a guy, you are super smart and super successful, but you talk like a machine gun, we cannot even find spaces between the words.
Wow, that's true. And
I
know of a couple people like that.
I meet people, yeah, and they're like just trying to squeeze as many words per minute as they can.
And forget about that other person that's sitting over there in that chair. You know, it's all about me. And it's like, you know.
And the other person goes like, I'll watch you in replay when it's slowed down.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah, so there's like what they call people skills or communication skills, and I like seduction skills. It's vital skills, and they become vital in communication. They become vital in negotiation, in closing deals, in people wanting to do business with you. It stretches far beyond relationship realm. It stretches into building powerful connections, building powerful allies. And even in business realm, guys, seriously, it gets boring. If you are fun and pleasure to be around, people want to be around with you and they want to do business with you. Very much for who you are, not so much for, you know, what company you represent.
Right. So you got that little flirtatious side of you. Even guys like that part of it. They don't know they like it, but they're, oh, this guy's really cool.
Yeah.
He's interesting. And he really appreciates, I mean, other men will attract other men that appreciate women too.
Mm-hmm.
And they really feed off each other about, I mean, it's a guy thing, but a guy thing can also be very rewarding in finding what good things they could always bring out in a woman. Exactly.
And in themselves, other men respect men who are confident. And it all comes down to confidence and being really comfortable in your own skin and enjoying being in your own skin.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So, and so give me an example of, I really like the flirtation part. Give me some more flirtation moments that a guy could really do. We're actually going to have someone get on with us.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
What's up?
What's up?
Hey,
we're not on What's Up. We're in Blob.
Ask us a question. Is this your first
time? What's your name first?
Yeah, what's your name?
Yeah, somebody dragged me from the Periscope sphere into Blab. I like this much more.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
It's my first time on Blab. I was Blab virgin until an hour ago, but
And you got like 689 caps. Okay, let's make it. I want it to be a round number, so let's make it 690. Okay, I'll put
thank you. I appreciate it. Why don't we make it 700? Go to 700.
Yay!
Yay!
Look at that! Yay!
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's like the Seinfeld commercial. Last over squeeze. You don't get the cents right. Okay, 730. That's
Where are you from?
Originally Israel, but I've been living in Canada, in Toronto, for the past 17 years.
Oh wow, beautiful.
Cool.
Where are you guys from?
I live in California, but I'm originally from Ukraine or Russia. God knows, I'm from Crimea, so it's been changing countries.
You probably don't like Putin.
Putin.
Do I have to answer that? I respect him.
No.
I respect him.
You respect him?
I respect him. Yes.
Okay.
I respect any part. Yeah, I neither like him or dislike him, but I respect him.
I don't know what he's about. Some people say he's a bad guy, and some people respect him. But
I would.
I have a lot of, I would say respect.
You know, respect and liking are different things. Liking is like you approve of their ways, you enjoy them. Respect is when you acknowledge that, you know, a person has a stance and they are, and you, I don't know the better way to use. To me, respect is an acknowledgement of somebody's power.
Yeah, I respect his attitude that says, I'm a badass. I don't
he's a badass.
You are. Yeah.
He's a badass, for sure.
Oh, you're in California. You're radiant. You can tell that you're in California.
Oh, thank
summer
you.
Cold. No, it does do. If you live in Arizona or California or Florida, you look different than somebody who lives in New Hampshire or Quebec. Just a fact.
Yeah, that's why you guys should come and visit.
I'm probably going to be in Vegas soon.
Cool.
But this is a great.
Mm-hmm. Robert,
where are you from?
Oh, Robert, yes. I'm actually from Michigan. I live in California, Encinitas area. So, yes, I love, I'm back in Michigan where it's a little cool today and doing this Blab. So, yeah, it's a very different scenario for me. I enjoy the California. It's got the sunshine that doesn't vary. The temperature doesn't vary much there, maybe 20 degrees a lot of times. I'm
probably going to retire, and I'm probably for tax reasons, I'm not going to become a U.S. citizen or even try to get a green card, but I'll probably spend a lot of time somewhere in the southern U.S. I'm not staying here with the snow. It's just, it's good. Canada is good. There are many aspects to Canada that are probably superior to the U.S., but overall, the weather, I think the last 2 years is really bringing my spirits down. It's becoming really an issue. Well, you came from the Ukraine. You know what it is, living in the snow and all of that.
We're having a conversation around happiness and love.
What's your name, by the way?
Do you have any idea?
Amir.
Do you have any questions for us on that?
Yeah, maybe you can help me. I need to make up with my girlfriend.
Why did you break up? Why? What happened?
Well, we didn't break up.
You were
had a fight in the morning.
It broke up a little bit.
Fight after a good stretch of days. We're very passionate about each other, romantic normally, but there is an issue that she keeps bringing. Like my ex, I want to maintain good relationship with her. I don't want her to give me any hard time. We have a daughter together, a 7-year-old. I don't want her to give me any hard time or start bugging me. So I'm cool with maintaining a good post-marriage relationship with her. And my current girlfriend, she hates her because their personalities are different. And she just hates her. She loves my daughter, but she hates my ex, and she's jealous. And she admits that she's jealous in a crazy way. And just the idea that I'm texting her, and I don't want anything to do with my ex-wife other than all the arrangements concerning my daughter, picking her up, dropping her off. She's going now, my daughter is going to the Far East for a stretch of days, and there's things to talk about all the time. And it doesn't matter what type of communication and what the issue is, she's always having this angle. She's always jealous. She's always, and when we had the fight, I just had enough. Like she said something along the lines of, you don't know exactly if Ruby, my daughter, is coming this day or that day. You talk to her so much, so how come you don't know that? And I was just, you know what? I had enough with this. This is just going on for too long. You keep bringing this thing up. So we just had this flare up, and we just, and her mom was visiting. Her mom was visiting all the kids in North America. She has siblings in San Francisco and Chicago, and then she came to Toronto. And it was awkward because other than the 2 or 3 first day of her visit, her daughter and me were just not talking. We just, everybody went to his corner and no communication. And just yesterday, before she flew back to Israel, where she lives, she said, look, I want to address the big elephant in the room. There's no communication between the two of you. You must talk. Like, the two of you have too much going on for you not to talk. But I feel that she's playing some kind of a power game with me, because she feels that because she's more social and she brought me into the world and brought friends into my life, she thinks that I need her more than she needs me, and she's playing some kind of a game. And this is why I love her, but I'm reluctant to make the first step. And I know it's going to end at some point. I'm not going to break up with her over this, because it's just doesn't make any sense. We're business partners. We make good money together. We have good life together. We live together. But right now, I just, I don't have that urge to go and kind of tell her and try to reconcile and say this or that or buy her flowers or anything, because I feel that she's wrong.
Mm-hmm.
She's imagining things. It's clear that, I have no interest in getting back with my ex. I don't like my ex as much as I like my girlfriend in terms of their personality and everything. And there is no reason for her to not be trusting or think that I know that it's a lot of it in her head. It's just annoying.
Thank you so much for your, first of all, very open sharing. I highly admire that.
Thank you.
Are you ready for radical feedback?
Sure.
Okay. Before I give you feedback, I have one question for you. What is your take on, is she a better deal for you than you are for her? Meaning you need her more than she needs you.
You know what? It depends on which part of life you're looking at. In some ways, she's good for me. In some ways, I'm good for her.
It's a very straightforward question, and I invite you to be very honest with yourself. Do you believe that that you need her more than she needs you, or you do not believe that? Or is there a fear a little bit of that, or no? Like, what's going on inside of you?
Well, it's not because of things that, look, if I go back and I'm single now, I would find somebody, but she's great. She's a great woman. So that's the tricky part, that I don't want to lose her.
That is the problem, dude. That is the problem. That is the problem. Not her jealousy. That. The fear within you that you will not find somebody as good as her. And by no means I'm encouraging you to leave her and go look for someone else. That's not the conversation. But the conversation is your own insecurity that she's feeling. She knows it. It gives her an upper hand. It's her. And in this kind of dynamic, she's going to start losing respect more and more. And this lopsidedness is going to be crooked down her way even more. And I hate to break the news for you. If you continue on that path, she's going to break up with you sooner or later, because then she's not going to respect you as a man. So as a woman, especially if she's successful in her own life, she needs to feel that you are stronger than her, so she can relax and be in her feminine. And that would take for you to own yourself and to value yourself, and just saying, you know what, just like you've been saying, but you're kind of moving into that direction already, which I highly respect and appreciate about you, but you're not there all the way, where you're saying, hey, look, I love you, you're awesome, but I'm flipping awesome too. And if you think that you can find somebody better than me, go ahead. So you have to, and I'm not saying that you have to communicate in those straight words, but that needs to be your stance, where you value you no less than you value her. And from that point, you can say, this thing with jealousy is not conducive for our relationship. My invitation for you is to drop it once and for all. My child is my child. I'm going to communicate with my child's mother no matter what for the rest of my life, likely, or for many years to come. And you either make peace with that or not. So that's who I am. Take it or leave it, kind of that. Not without the need to jump through hoops at all. I think either partner putting the other one on the pedestal is creating that inequality where the other starts losing respect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So stop seeing her as a better deal. Start seeing, and my invitation is, appreciate you more. Because clearly she, this awesome woman, picked you. That means that you have great qualities why she picked you. She did not pick you out of pity. She's not sleeping with you because she, wants to make you feel better. She clearly appreciates you and likes you and wants you, so own that about yourself.
Yeah, I think it's
I like
probably
that.
not. Yeah,
Huh?
it's probably, we don't have a major
I like
problem.
that.
We're probably going to make up, but it's just
Hey,
that particular
you
issue
don't want to
bothers me.
have a major problem. And I'm glad that we're talking about this now, so you will not have a major problem. And you have like 90% of the right attitude. Just nudge it up at 10%.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're awesome.
It
took courage you to come on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And express it.
Now I'm going to finish this workout motivated. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate
thank
you.
you so much, and good luck making up with her. And just in making up, if I could offer the last piece of feedback here, you can feel when you're inspired, when you really want to talk to her and say, hey, I want to clear the air between us just because we're in this together, and it's not healthy to continue that zone.
Yeah.
And let's find the solution. And you are not assuming your fault at all. You're just saying, let's find the solution. And if we can't, then it might be better that we release each other and not hold this negativity between us. So let's decide what we want to be. Are we going to be partners and find solutions together, or are we going to stand in opposition and create negativity? That's not what I want in my life.
It's a problem. We're also business partners.
So take it or leave it. What the hell do we know?
We're also business partners, and we're making a good chunk of change. So it's a big problem. It's a big problem. It plays a role because she knows that something drastic has to happen. Even if we don't speak to each other for a month, something drastic has to happen to break this package. And that works both ways for her and for me. Like, you're not, you're already living in a beautiful house in a quiet, beautiful suburb of Toronto. You're making a shitload of money. What are you going to do? You're just going to break up over something that is workable? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And she knows.
So be a leader, step up and say, hey, in my relationship, this kind of tension is unacceptable. So let's sort it out. Kind of like that.
Yeah. Sounds good. Okay,
nice
guys.
Talking to you too.
It's been an honor.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Oh, so much fun. Yes.
Yeah, it was. And you really got it. You really connected with him and you really listened. That was really, really powerful. So that was Sky. That was nice. And it was great feedback too. It was right. You could really see the value in where he took it to heart. He actually sat back in his chair and was, pedaling, even like, oh yeah. So the information sunk in. Very powerful.
Yeah, I want to know what happened next. How it all plays out. But I think
we can invite him back. I mean, he jumped on here. We'll connect with him and we'll invite him back and we'll we'll schedule another one just to bring him on and see what happened in the time frame. Sounds like he's got quite a lucrative business. He and his friend.
See, I want to talk about this for a little bit because he's a masculine man, and by the way, I so appreciate him being open and sharing and playing. It's a vulnerable space, and it takes balls to be vulnerable in a public setting like that. So I hugely respect that and appreciate it and honor that. So, and he's a masculine man who is powerful, and he knows that, what he brings to the table. But there is like that little thing that comes in, like, what if? And now she's throwing a fist, right? So it's challenging, and that's what I train guys, like, own your balls all the way. And it's hard to do unless you believe you're a good catch, right?
Bless you. Yes, absolutely. So thank you, Sky. And can you just hold your book up again? And, and give them some information how they can get a hold of you. Do you like to be text? Do you like Messenger? They can find you on Facebook. Can they find you here?
Thank you. Well, I will probably be back here. I really enjoyed it. I think it's super fun, and it is more fun than Periscope. I'm converted now.
Well, you're amazing because you're not afraid to say something and be authentic. That authenticity really resonates. Just from me viewing you and listening to you, it's like that's really coming from your heart, and it's really that's information heartfelt. So thank you.
Thank you. Well, so for those of you who have resonated as well, the book is called Best Thing Ever: Escape Disappointments and Drama and Let True Love into Your Life. It can be found very easily on Amazon, and I encourage you to get it. It's an amazing book. If I say so myself, it won gold medal last year in Living Now Book Awards, and it's a #1 bestseller. So it's a damn good. I actually was reading it recently because I needed to rework it for audio, the manuscript, and I was like, that's a damn good book. So highly recommend it.
Really good. Really good.
So, and in terms of connecting with me, my website is Best Thing Ever. Again, I'm putting together this awesome online boot camp, 007's Guide to a Woman's Heart. And it's designed for men, but I encourage women to come as well because you're going to learn a ton. Go to my website, bestthingever.com, and get on my list, and you will be the first one to get the invitation as soon as I open the doors to that. It will be happening in October, so get on my list now. And my Facebook is Facebook at, I think it's Blossom Sky, or just doing the search Sky Blossoms, you will find me. I have public page, public figure, and a regular personal page. Connect with me. And if you have, I normally don't do this, just I'm a little hesitant to do this. Okay. If you really, really resonated, you can email me, and I can talk to you directly and answer your questions, and we can even schedule a complimentary phone call. And you can email me at sky@bestthingever.com. I was hesitant to do that, but then I remembered a few speakers that I've heard throughout the years were sharing their cell phone from stage, and I would be like, how in the world are they doing that? Aren't people like gonna call them in thousands? And they say that I've been sharing my cell phone from stage for the last 10 years, and maybe one person called, so people don't take up that opportunity. So, and I think for those who have the courage to take advantage of their opportunity and take the next step and take action, I will honor that. So if you want to connect with me, sky@bestthingever.com, and I will speak with you.
Sky, it was an honor to be with you today. It truly is. And we'll schedule another blab, have another session. We had 22 people view you today. What an awesome honor it is to have you on here, and the insights that were given were just, it was phenomenal for me anyway. It was very insightful, and very blessed to clear up some issues of my own. Thank you.
Good. Thank you, Robert. It was so much fun. I personally had a blast. I really appreciate your questions, because if it was not for your questions and creating the space, we would have not, my answers would not be possible. So thank you for that. And thank you guys who have played with us live, who participated, for all the applause that we got. I still like Periscope's hearts a little better, but
these are hands. We'll give you a lesson.
Yeah.
Well, Sky, it's such a blessing. Miss you. I hope we got to meet someday in person. So we're not that far away.
Yes,
Blessings,
we're neighbors.
Blessings.
Thank you, Robert.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up today. And we'll be in touch with Sky. And I appreciate everyone being here today. And we're having another blab here in about 15 minutes. It's called Stephen L. Whiteley, and it's on happiness.
Ooh,
so,
cool.
Yeah, you can come on over and be on one of the panels over there, too. But,
thank you. I need to work a little, too.
Well, I think this is.
I'm not using the word work anymore. As of yesterday, I don't work anymore. I play business.
Well, let's play. So come on over and play with us. We can have fun playing.
Yeah, sounds great.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Love you all. Thank you, Sky. And I really
thank you.
appreciate you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Likewise. Thank you.